Welcome everyone to our Yin Yoga class. My name is Tammy. Our theme for our class is balance. Balancing our mind, body, balancing our mind and body, thought process. Lots going on, of course, throughout the day. So how do we come back to ourselves so that we can feel balanced? We'll begin our class with sitting on the mat and come into butterfly with your feet together. And then you can place the supports underneath your knees, and it could be pillows. Having those props ready for yourself, ready to go. And our base of support here onto your sits bones. You could also sit on a chair too. And having these supports underneath of the knees, it'll help you to relax, open up through the pelvis. And here we are balanced with our feet touching, centered midline of our body, coming into it, drawing everything in. We can place our hands down towards our ankles. We can add the fold forward, but just on your own time, because this nice big hip opening too with the fold forward, it may be a little bit pinchy into the lower back right now. So just on your own time, you can add the fold. We sit up with a nice inhale breath and exhale breath. You may add the fold forward. Your hands still can rest onto your feet. We let our head hang. With our forehead being drawn towards the ground, it will help us to feel grounded, balanced. You may stretch your arms forward, and you can place your hands together. We let our head hang. Again, you may be upright. Now finding where it is good for you to help you just to settle right now into butterfly. And then find stillness. We turn inward and notice our breath. With the exhale breath, let yourself fold a little bit deeper into this pose. As we hold the yin poses for longer periods of time, you notice your body start to let go. Connective tissues start to release. Let yourself relax a little bit more in the physical body, in your thoughts. Feel the expansion into the lower back. Three more cycles of breath. And we're making our way back up. Very slow, we come out of the forward bend. This forward fold, it was a compression into the front of our body, massaging our internal organs. And just hold stillness for a moment when we're upright. And taking your hands behind your bottom, taking your feet forward and wider than the hips. You can windshield wiper, knees side to side. We have a little massage into hips. And now we hold. We can set our pillows over to the side again. And our next pose, it's fish pose. Taking your hands behind with your feet coming forward. And I'm going to come onto my heels, so this will be a version of fish pose here. You can tent your hands, your fingers too. You can sit cross-legged and draw your heart up towards the sky and hold here. Or be onto your heels and we draw our heart up towards the sky and we lean back. We lean back, letting the top of our head be drawn down towards the ground, continuing to elongate through our spine. Are we able to let our head hang? By continuing to be long through the cervical spine, opening up through our throat chakra. You may come down to the forearms. See if this way works for you, but it might not. For your shoulders. Coming out of our fish pose, slowly drawing your chin back. And then coming over to wide-legged child's pose. So come to all fours. Turn the knees out to the sides. Uncurl the toes and draw your hips down towards the heels. You're making your way down to child's pose. Let the forehead rest again. So just the opposite way. We were folding backward, now we're folding forward. If this pose does not work for your knees, you can sit on a chair and then fold forward. Or you can lie on your back and take the knees into the chest. Three more cycles of breath. Inhale and exhale being one cycle. Coming out of wide-legged child's pose back to all fours. And we hold here. Take your toes down towards the ground. Step forward with the right hand, left hand into downward facing dog. And we make our way into the next pose, which will be dragon. So come to downward facing dog. Draw the right leg up towards the sky, three-legged dog, and then bend through the knee and step onto the outside of the right wrist. Knee comes down, or you can have the leg lifted. We hold here. We let our head hang. You may grip the mat with your finger pads to take pressure off the wrists, or you can come down towards the forearms. You can also make this and hold. Coming down towards the ground onto your forearms will take that pressure off of your wrist. But of course, coming down towards the ground a little bit deeper, it's more of an opening into the right side of the pelvis. So breathing into uncomfortable positions, really turning towards your strength. We breathe in to those tight areas that make us feel uncomfortable. Exhale, we let go. We yield, we soften. We let our pelvis yield, soften into the ground. Inhaling and exhaling, and then we'll slowly make our way out of dragon. On your own time. You may come back to downward facing dog or all fours, child's pose, finding what works for you right now. And then from downward facing dog, we'll make our way to the other side. So it could be into three-legged dog, left leg lifts, bend through the knee and step onto the outside of the left wrist. And the knee may be up. And release here. Or the knee is down. Remember, double up your mat for the knee. You may come down to the forearms. We let our head hang. Our shoulders soften. And then now let the pelvis sink down in towards the ground. We use our exhale breath to draw in, down into the ground. We draw in life, energy towards our center through our distals, so through our arms and our legs, drawing into the center. And exhale, we release out through our arms, legs, out through our distals, fingers and toes. Inhale, drawing in life. And exhaling out everything we do not need. Continue to draw into your center. And exhale, getting rid of everything out through our distals, what we don't need. We inhale and exhale for one more cycle of breath, drawing into your center, and then releasing and letting go. We're making our way back You may come into all fours or downward facing dog. And then bend with the knees and then come down to all fours and we sit on our bottom. We open up our legs towards the front and we sit nice and tall here. You may place pillows in front of you for a little support. And coming over to our one side, we inhale, we sit up, and we exhale, we turn our body over to the side and fold forward. And we let our head hang. Now, having these pillows in towards our middle, we could use it and place it onto our shin. You could also have a blanket underneath of your knee here, so you can roll up the blanket. So just take a moment and set yourself up with what you might need. So just take a little break there because we just got into the pose here. So I would roll up just a little blanket, place it underneath of my knee. And then that'll be for support. So half dragonfly. So finding what will work for you. If you wanted to use a pillow that would work for you, you may. I would place the pillow just onto your thigh. So we're not going to place it onto your knee, just to your thigh here. And now coming up, inhale and exhale, folding over and let the forehead rest. And version would be this for a side. So into the side would come over, you would come over to the side and you can let the head rest here. Like this. You could also have your arms on top of your pillow. Your elbows down and then let the forehead rest. Now, once we've set up, finding stillness, and we hold. And one more cycle of breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Make our way up. And then to the other side. And again, you can have a blanket, just a thin blanket, just a little roll, placing it underneath of the knee. That'll be so your hamstrings, so they don't have to be overstretched here. Don't want that, but just a nice stretch that you would feel. And we turn over to our other side. You may put a pillow on top of your thigh if you would like. Remember, you can also come over to the side here and then come down to the side. You can rest your head on your hand. You can use a pillow here. And for support, you may hold here. Or tipping up and over, you can fold. You can have your elbows down and let yourself just hang and breathe. Are you able to sink a little bit deeper into this pose? And one more cycle of breath. And we make our way back up. Taking our props over to the side, bending through our knees. And you can windshield wiper knees side to side. Just notice your hips here. Few big openings through our hips for the last few poses that we did. This pose too will be the same, big opening. You may do this lying on your back, or we're going to try it upright though. This one would be crossing your right ankle over top of the left knee. We slide our left heel back and we lift up through our chest. So we hold here. You may draw your chin down. If you were to do this lying on your back, it would look like this. You can also do this seated. So use a chair and then you can sit, or stool too. So it's threading the needle this way. Finding which way you would like to do it for yourself. Which way would you feel more supported? That you're able to release a little bit more. If you are upright, you can place your foot down towards the ground. You can have your heel down still. With this opening into the right side of our hip, we breathe. If your eyes are closed, you can open up your eyes. And if you're upright, you can slide your foot away. If you're on the ground on your back, you can release nice and slow too. And then we're going to cross our ankle, left ankle over the right knee for the other side. So if you're upright, just changing sides. And if you're lying on your back, of course, changing sides too. And lifting through the chest, we lift up. We hold and we feel the opening through our left side of our pelvis. We inhale to open. Exhale to release. Remember, the other option would be sitting on a chair or stool. You can cross your ankle over your knee that way too. coming to the end of seated figure 4, threading the needle, we release. If you're lying on your back, just release too and just hold for a moment. If you are upright, taking your feet wider than the hips. You can do this too with lying on your back. You can take your feet wider than the hips and then windshield wiper knees side to side. It's always nice to do this little massage through our hips here. And we release. Our next pose, we can do this seated like this with crossed legs, with our legs crossed. And we take our right hand behind and your palm is facing towards the back. And then the left arm crosses your shoulder like this. So you can do it this way. Or you can come over into wide-legged child's pose again, like we did before. We sit down into our heels. You can take your right arm behind and then take your left arm, palm, turning it up and hold. So if it's too much of an opening into the right side of the shoulder, just take your arm down and just let it release here. Come into the front. You could also be on all fours, like this. So hopefully one of those versions are good for you. And we breathe. A lot of times our shoulders are overused. So noticing that with yourself, if there are any areas of tightness, tension, breathing into those tight areas with the inhale breath, exhale breath, helping you to release, let go of that tension, that tightness. And with the exhale breath, you can tell yourself, let go, let go, let go as you exhale. It really helps. Coming out of Child's pose with this little twist. We can just remove our right arm and take it down towards the front nice and slow, and slowly coming out of the twist, turning your head, your arm back. Now, setting yourself up for the next side. Remember, if this pose doesn't work for you for your knees, you can be upright. You could also be on all fours. You could be seated. Okay, into the other side would be taking your left arm and take it behind your back, palm turned towards the back. And when we come forward, it's threading the needle. Okay, so you can take your hands down too, like this, and then set yourself up from the ground. Left arm behind. You can thread the needle, and your head, your gaze follows. A little twist. Coming out of the pose, taking your left arm back towards the front. Slowly make your way up. And come over to seated, and then to the side of the body. And here we come over to the side and roll to the back with our knees bent. We take our right knee and our left knee in towards our chest, and we hold. Our supine twist. We take our legs up and over to the left side. Our arms, they come in line with the shoulders. You can have your arms straight or the elbows will be bent. You may also turn your head the opposite way of your legs. We are fully balanced with our body, our physical body on the ground. We are supported. Yoga helps to balance our thoughts, our feelings, the clarity of mind. Feeling balanced in your emotions. Coming out of the twist, we turn our head back towards the center and hold. And bring our legs back to the center. We could use our arms and we could help. Just bring your knees back to the center. And now center, we hold, drawing the knees in towards our chest. Now we bring our legs up and over to the other side. We have our arms in line with our shoulders again. We turn our head the opposite way of our knees. Close your eyes. Letting yourself enjoy this twist into the spine. Smiling from the inside out. Coming out of the twist, we take our head back nice and slow to the center. You can take your hands down towards the knees and then use them to bring your knees back towards the center. We draw the knees back and towards the chest and hold. We let our pelvis splay open. Your pelvic bowl, just letting it open. Those twists are a really nice way to make our way into our final pose, Shavasana. Please do whatever other movement that you would like to do before you come into Shavasana. You may lie on your back. You can have the knees bent, legs straight. You can have the legs up the wall. You could be upright too, seated. You could be also in a nice incline. So we set ourselves up for Shavasana. Being nice and warm. So you can place a blanket on yourself. And we do a scan of our body. Letting our feet soften. Feel your ankles soften. Our shins and our calves give way, melt. Our thighs soften. We squeeze our glutes and then let them release, letting our pelvic bowl open. We feel our abdomen and our chest open, soften, melt. Our shoulders, arms, hands, release into the ground. Our neck releases. Our facial muscles soften. Our lips part. Our eyes are heavy. We let go. I will call you back when it is time. And slowly coming back. Notice any sounds around you. Noticing the surface you're lying on or sitting on. Notice how you're feeling from the inside out. Feeling a warmth spread from your center all the way out to your limbs, to your distals. We let the warmth surround us. If you're lying on your back, you can bend through the knees and take your right arm overhead and roll over to your right side to fetal. And then making your way up to a comfortable seated position. You could be sitting in easy pose, cross-legged, or in hero, sitting on your heels. And now we take our hands to our heart center. Feeling balanced. Not only the pose that we are in right now for our physical body, drawing in and feeling balance from the inside out. Close your eyes and breathe. And opening your eyes. Thank you very much for joining me and sharing your practice. Namaste.